right, folks, welcome to Boler Professional Development Program. We're going to get started here in a minute. If you could just make sure that you are muted, and feel free to turn your cameras on if you like. My name is Melissa Wensler. I am one of the Assistant Directors of Enrollment here at John Carroll. And I am happy to welcome you to our celebration event. We are hoping that we can provide to you the feel and the vibe that we would normally have when we were in person. Before we get started and before I introduce Bob Stein, I just wanted to tell you a little bit about John Carroll. We are once again ranked in the #2 spot among the best regional universities in the Midwest, according to the 2021 U.S. News and World Report Best College Ranking. We've been very consistent, 31 years in the top 10. And that's because we strive for more than what's required academically, personally, socially. We empower you to achieve what others see as improbable. We recognize the lifelong exploration connects us to endless discovery, wonder, and joy. So you're going to graduate unafraid to pursue the unknown. So I'm going to turn it over to Bob Stein, who is Executive in Residence Leadership Development. He is the director of our Boler Professional Development Program. I think this program sets John Carroll's Business School apart from others. And I'm going to turn it over to him to tell you why.
All right, fantastic, Melissa. Good afternoon, everybody. It's good to have you here. Virtual world that we have, but we'll try to make it as live and interactive as we can. As Melissa mentioned earlier, we're definitely going to have a Q&A period, so feel free to start putting questions in the chat room as I go along. So, sorry.
Don't forget to mute yourself, folks.
Okay. All right, so just to get started, I want to welcome wherever you are. We have students obviously from all over Northeast Ohio, from Columbus, Cincinnati, Toledo, everywhere else in Ohio, and Pittsburgh and Erie and many other parts of Pennsylvania, and Buffalo and Rochester, and some surrounding areas, New York and Chicago, Illinois area, Detroit, and up to Grand Rapids, Kalamazoo, and wherever in Michigan and Indiana, and wherever else you are in the U.S. So it's one of my thrills is to get to know students from all over the country that come to the Boler College of Business at John Carroll. So my name is Bob Stein. I'm called BPD Bob. I'll touch on that in a little bit more. Students call me. So I'm a business guy that's come to Carroll about 2.5 years ago now. So I've had a 40-year business career. You can tell that by the white hair. And I've been CEO of 5 companies, 2 public companies, one based in the US and one based in UK. That company, I did business all over the world, literally traveled 56 countries over the 20 years I was there. It was a phenomenal life experience. I'm mentioning my background not to brag about what I've done, but I've been in every profession that you can think of as you would enter the Boler College. So I love talking to students about what they're majoring in, what kinds of jobs are in their major, and just the varied experiences that I've had. It's something that's really a reward and joyful for me to do. So that's why I'm on campus and overseeing our Boler Professional Development Program. So let's jump into
You're muted.
You're muted.
Hey, Bob, unmute yourself. Sorry, I did that because we had some background noise.
Okay.
My bad.
All right. Okay. So I'm just touching on bragging about that we're #1 in the nation, and that's every single college. Ohio State, Harvard, Stanford. This is the #1 rated program that employers rank for being ready for the workplace. So that's what BPD is. This circle of activities here, which I won't go in detail, basically for your 4-year time at Boler College, we work with you with classes and events and working with employers to have you be ready for the workplace when you graduate. It's an awesome program, a lot of depth to it, very experiential, practicing, getting confident in business. The most important thing when you're in business is to feel confident and project yourself in a confident way. And that takes practice, and it takes just getting out of your comfort zone. And that's what we do with you at BPD as your coaches. So resumes, how to have a good LinkedIn, interviewing skills, the right way to handle yourself in a business meeting or a business lunch. All these things we work on and give you a lot of, again, skills and confidence as you're going to graduate. Just change, sorry, my screen didn't change here. Oops, sorry. Okay, can you see that now? Okay, so just real quick here, I know this is a busy slide to read. Everything that we do is one-on-one. Yes, we have some classes and you come into groups, but all 1,100 students in Boler, more specifically, the 300 incoming freshmen, whatever the class is going to be, it's a one-on-one coaching relationship because your needs, what you want to do and what you want to accomplish is one-on-one. So we encourage meeting with you and we customize everything that we're doing for you. And this young lady's saying here that what she appreciated about the BPD program, it was a 4-year process. It wasn't just, some schools have a professional development and they throw it at seniors all at one time in one course. We don't do that. You start as a freshman, we ease you into it, and all 4 years you're doing a transition and a progression. So again, you feel confident about entering the workplace. The other thing she says in this note is as a junior, she got an internship, which went really well, and she got hired after that internship. Happens very often at Boler when students get their internships. Now, Boler, and not just BPD, all of Boler is an extremely high touch, one-on-one student and staff faculty experience. All colleges say that. I had 3 kids go to 3 different colleges, and I worked with a lot of college graduates at my company, and I can attest, I'm bragging because I'm part of Carroll and Boler, but it's amazing to me how much personal attention. So for purposes of your professional development growth, you're the student, you're our customer. BPD is there for you. You're going to have professional advisors your first 2 years, academic advisors. You're going to have your faculty as advisors. You're going to have professors you're going to get along with who are going to be a mentor to you, and obviously career services that we work closely with. So you've got really a whole team that's there to provide you the guidance and advice. And we're kind of the quarterback for Boler, or we're kind of like career services on steroids. We do all that everybody does and more for our Boler students, again, each individually. Now, I'm just going to have a little fun here because we have fun in BPD. So all the students call me BPD Bob. It's caught on. So somebody made up a t-shirt for me that often I wear in class. So we teach you professionalism for sure. So you see it says, I'll back up, it says BPD Bob. Anyway, so we teach you to be professional. Dr. So-and-so, Mr., Ms., to a professional. But we're your coaches, and we want it to be informal. That's why I like that the students don't need to call me Mr. Stein or Professor Stein or whatever. It's BPD Bob, and that way we have a good coaching, mentoring relationship. So let me touch on big picture here. What are we doing with BPD? There's 3 goals. One is we want you prepared for the workplace. What are the necessary skills, soft skills, in addition to the wonderful academics that you're getting? So you leave here confident that day one, you're going to make a difference and feel good about where you go work. Number 2, because this is rated number 1, and employers know that, you are going to have a competitive advantages to other colleges, students graduating from other colleges. And we're proud of this. And we work hard to help you meet up with our employers, and you will have a competitive advantage. Time and time again, recruiters tell me those Boler students, they're dressed the best, they ask the best questions, their resumes look the best. So that's an advantage you're going to get through the program here. And the objective then, the third goal, is that you get not just a job when you graduate, but you get the career, the first choice in a career that that you'd like to choose. So that's what we work with you with and what our 3 goals are. Now, earlier I showed you the big wheel that had all the things. I'm going to wrap this up into 5 major areas. The first thing is professional branding. How you present yourself publicly or one-on-one. LinkedIn, resume, cover letters, how you do an elevator pitch of introducing yourself. This is very, very important. And you want your professional brand and image to represent you in your unique way. So we work with you on that, and there's a lot of activities that will work around your professional brand. I personally work with students constantly on how best to sell yourself. So that's why I love meeting students one-on-one all the time, because this is really important. We've got your brand, but how do you confidently present yourself? Confidence is important, not arrogance, not bold, but confident. And we work a lot with that, with interviewing skills and networking skills, etc. And then in business, network, network, network. There's nothing that will be more important to you besides getting a good education so you're prepared than to be networking. It's where you're likely going to find your job or your internship. It's definitely where you're going to have continuous learning, especially through something like LinkedIn. It's where you'll find customers if you're in a sales job and you're looking for new customers. So we do a lot of networking. It takes getting out there and practicing and doing it. And there's a lot of networking, and we're fortunate. Our alumni network at Carroll is so gracious and helpful to our students. So we bring the alumni very often to work with our students to help and connect with students. And then how do you conduct yourself? And again, that's an ongoing process. And we want professional conduct with personality. We're not turning everybody into some business person that acts and looks the same way. We want to be us. So we work within you, where you're at, and put you in a position where you have the right kind of sense of how you conduct yourself in business settings. And then finally, all of this adds up to experience. And experience is many things. Of course, it's an internship, but it's not only internships. Every part-time job you've ever done, up to date, and what you'll do in college relates to experience you can sell to an employer for the future. Every student organization that you're involved in, and speakers come in and talk in the organizations, that's experience that you can talk about yourself and put on a resume. So there's many things that wrap around experience that you'll continue to see grow through your 4 years at Boler here. Now, what makes this program so unique and why it's won the award as #1 is how much employer interaction we have. And everything I'm going to show you, we've been doing virtually. So we didn't lose a beat. Now, we preferred if it was on campus, obviously, and some starting to come on campus now. We have set Boler partners. So we've got about 100 employers that we work with on your behalf, but there's a small group that are very active on campus with student organizations, and they come on campus virtually. They're going to start coming on next month where they can physically be here and really work with our students and communicate, and that's what we call Boler Partner Days. We actually will set up where you can go to employers, different types of employers. Sherman-Williams, the Cleveland Indians, we've done one, ad agencies, Lubrizol, insurance companies. So it's good for students to go when we can, post-COVID, go back into the workplace and hear from many executives and get that sense of what it's really like to be in a company. So we do a lot of that. We bring in all kinds of speakers, all kinds of leaders, executives on campus. It's been virtual, obviously. And that's just, every week there's somebody on campus that you can learn something from and make connections too. I always tell students, when you go to see a speech with a business person and you really liked it, you took some good notes, go up and introduce yourself to the person. The person loves that because it shows you there was some attention to a person, but that's a good contact that you've made. So we do a lot of speakers. I love this Network for Success. I think it's our best event of everything we do. This is where we get about 70 JCU alum, and we split them up into small groups, and our students practice networking, practice doing their elevator pitch, which is how you introduce yourself, and get phenomenal feedback and coaching from the alumni and contacts. You take their contact information. Many students have gotten internships out of these experiences. But the major point here, we usually do this sophomore year for students, is it's really starting to get you out of your comfort zone and begin to be comfortable to talk to professionals to deal with the nerves and anxiety that we all get at first when we do these things. So I love this event. And then we do formal mock interviews at least once. There's some students, every time they go to an interview, they send me a note and say, BPD Bob, can I do a practice interview with you? And I would do it every time, because you can never not do enough practice and get somebody else's view of how to help you in an interview. So we do a lot with that. So you have the skills and confidence, both doing it on Zoom and doing it live in person, which soon will be the case. And then career fair, we have multiple career fairs. The first one is the big JCU career fair. It's March 10th this year, coming up soon. But Boler does, so that's all JCU. Boler does a thing called Meet the Recruiters in the fall, which is just for Boler students and employers. It's a wonderful, more intimate, still a lot of people, hundreds, but it's a really good experience for the employers to get connected with the business students. We also do something separate for the accountants, the students, where the accounting firms come in, 30 accounting firms, and do a Meet the Accountants night to specifically hone in on that. By the way, Boler is rated #1 in all of Ohio for an accounting program in passing the CPA, students passing the CPA exam. So therefore, 30 accounting firms come onto the campus because they want to talk to our students. And then we do an employer cafes, which are mini fairs, where we might just have 10 employers who have really got some hot jobs that they want to present to students. And that would, again, be on campus. And fortunately, while you're all going to be coming in the fall, you know, we're certainly expecting that we're going to have everything back on campus like we've had. We have a little bit this semester as we've eased into it. I expect in the fall, we'll have our employers all back and engaging nicely. A lot of times we'll buy pizza for some of these events to have something to eat and make it informal and just get people gathering. So you can see there's a lot that we do that's experiential for the process there. This is just, you know, we have so many companies, but these are some well-known companies that many of you would know, with the banks and insurance companies and the accounting firms and retail like Aldi's and the Indians, of course, the government too. We have the FBI, we have the Defense Department, and the Federal Reserve all recruit at Boler, looking for accounting and forensic type people and so forth. Really cool. So we have a wonderful mix, and we have a lot of smaller employers, which is a way to go and work and learn a lot fast. So we have a whole array that we can bring to the table to help you as you decide where you're going to be going. I always like to close with this, and I got a few slides on career services, and then I'm going to open up the Q&A. So this is on my wall in my office, and it's in my windows facing out a main entrance where all the students come in. So what I say about, you know, getting out of your comfort zone, and this isn't just about BPD, this is college. You smile a lot when you meet people. It's the best body language, bar none. Shows you're approachable and people want to meet you and talk to you. So I'm always telling students, smile. Even when you're on Zoom, it's hard sometimes. And connect. Always be connecting. When you're here at college at Carroll, Boler, you want to connect. Obviously, you'll connect with your professors. You'll connect with lots of students. You'll connect with lots of staff. But you'll be connecting with alumni and employers, et cetera, et cetera. And the most important thing is you're here to explore. Nobody needs to know exactly what you're going to be when you grow up. It took me a long time. I still haven't figured that out. It's all about exploring. You know, what's my personality? What am I interested in? Who did I meet that inspired and triggered me to something? So that's the wonderful experience. But these are our 3 buzzwords for BPD too, with new students coming in. Smile all the time, connect, 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 and explore. So that's BPD in a nutshell. Let me just touch on career services, because we work, you know, hand in glove with career services. We're very, very connected. A lot of what we do is intentionally overlap. Career services is the whole university. We're just Boler. So career services will help you with a lot of tools, the right websites to go to look for internships and jobs. And there's career advisors in terms of what other students, how they've gone through, and helpful hints and so forth. So there's a lot of good advising and helpful skills you'll get there. The bottom line, and I say this in our BPD classes too, is what you're really doing when you're here is you're creating your individual story. What's the story of who you are? And it's going to change each year during your 4 years. So when you get to talking to people about getting a job, or some of you might go to grad school and then get a job, that's fine. You pull all this together and we help you with this. How do you tell your story in a really interesting, your personality, meaningful way that sets you apart from anybody else? And that's really the bottom line as to how we at BPD with Career Services are here to help you get that story. Now your part's to fill in the blanks so you got a good story. So join things and clubs and internships and part-time jobs, etc. But we'll help you put it all together. A few stats which are interesting. This is phenomenal. A school that gets at least 90. I think the last year's numbers haven't come in yet, but I think it's low 90s, 92%. So let's just say 90 of Boler students get at least one internship. I know students that get 2 and 3. Okay. So basically, if you want, and I encourage everybody to get an internship, you can get an internship. So, all these employers are here to offer that, and we connect the dots to help you get there. By the way, at Boler, there's 8 majors, and 5 of them require an internship. And I advise the others that it doesn't require that they get an internship too, because that's obviously good experience for you no matter what. And there it is there, the stat, actually 57%, that's huge, do more than one. So that's incredible when you think about it. Most of these are in the summer between sophomore, junior year and junior, senior year, but some are during the school year, balancing your academics. So there are programs that are offered during the school year as well. And then most of these are paid. We want employers to offer our students, and they should pay them. Sometimes there's nonprofit and there's certain reasons when they're not. We have programs to help you. So if you got an internship that it was a nonprofit and they don't pay for it, we have a stipend that we provide students, so you get something. Shouldn't be working for nothing. And then all this timing and location means we don't just work in Northeast Ohio. We help you if you want to go get an internship in Buffalo because you live in Buffalo for the summer. Then, and the timing means, again, is it summer or is it during the school year? So that's what we're doing there. So a lot of great, robust activity around internships. And then employment, which is at the end of the day, you're going to get a job, right? That's what you're coming for. So this is at graduation date. And this is a tremendous statistic. 55% of students already have a job, which is incredible because a lot of hiring of college students doesn't happen until the summer. But 18% have decided to go to grad school. If you add those two up, 73% of graduates know on the day they graduate what they're doing. That's incredible at a business school. It really is. And then the rest are looking for what they want to do through the summer. Most of them get something through the summer, but we track things a year later, and 92% of people a year later are fully employed or in grad school, which I don't know many schools that have a better track record than that. Really good reputation and fine students. So obviously the type of students that come here are dedicated and focused, and they get the results from it. So the bottom line is, this is a picture of an actual fair before COVID. This was our fair at the BPD runs called Meet the Recruiters. And at the end of the day, that's what we're here to help you with. You can see everybody's well dressed, everybody's smiling, ready to present themselves, and ready to move forward. So anyway, it's an honor for me to work with all of our students here. I love doing this. I hope that we see all of you coming this fall. And if you do, you come find BPD Bob, and I promise I'll help you out. So with that, let me open up the Q&A. Pretty sure that was my last slide. So I'll stop sharing and open things up.
Yeah, folks, feel free to either unmute yourself and ask your question, or if you want to put it in the chat. I know we have a lot of people. I'm so excited to see over 80 people in our session today. So that's awesome. But yeah, feel free to utilize the chat. I, as an alumni myself, it can speak to the engagement of alumni in wanting to pay it forward for the experiences that we got here at John Carroll. So when Bob talked about, the alumni engagement and how that helps students, it's very, very true. And I think that as you look at your colleges and as you're making your decision, you may not have ever thought about how alumni engagement can factor into your decision, but it should, because it's a very important part of how you will not only grow in the 4 years you're at Carroll, but how is it going to help you reach your goals in your career and moving forward. And then being part of a network that is, 44,000 strong, probably more so now. We have alumni in all 50 states and in 48 countries. So, we are a mighty presence globally. So,
Great.
yeah.
So you're in the BPD Bob basement here. This is my music studio. If any of you know students here, older siblings or friends, ask them about the BPD Bob music video. Silly things that I've done here during the lockdown. And this was my music studio. So anyway, let's have some questions.
Yeah, feel free, guys. Don't be shy. And also too, I will let you know, BPD does have TikTok. It's quite a follow. So let's get him some more followers. Feel free to join him on TikTok. It's quite entertaining. Even our non-bowler students are on board. So
one question here. I'm just looking here.
When do students get started?
There's 8. I want to clarify. There's 8 bowler majors. 5 as part of the major is a requirement to take an internship. The other 3 don't require it, but most students do take them. But there's 8 majors in the Boler College of Business.
Good. Hey, Bob, when do students typically get started with BPD? And
right, freshman year, either first or second semester. So your advisor, your academic advisor would, depending upon your schedule, help you decide should you go in the first semester or second. And all we do the first semester is get you comfortable with LinkedIn and get a professional resume put together. So we don't try to put a lot in because you're doing a lot as a freshman. You're getting used to college. You got a big academic load. So it's not, none of these classes for BPD are like a regular class in terms of amount of work. They're event-based. So they're not like hours and hours of work, but they're meaningful skills that you're being developed.
Yeah, I would also, I would sort of say that those classes are like real work. I mean, they're you're doing something. It's not like you're sitting there and reading a book or having to write a paper. I mean, you might, but more of it is like interacting and real life and role playing, and it's like interactive, and it's not just sitting and being lectured at. So,
right.
Hey, Bob, how many I don't know if you know this or not, but internships with sports organizations, either locally or out of state. I mean, we have an amazing presence in the NFL. It's forever growing, and you can look at our website or talk to anybody, but we do have some really strong ties to a lot of sports organizations. But Bob, maybe you can talk to that a little bit more.
Yeah. Carroll's got an incredible, for football coaching in particular, it's got an incredible tree of in the NFL. But we definitely have students that intern at the Indians locally, at the Browns and the Cavs, so all the major sports teams. I know some students have done some things in Pittsburgh at sports organizations. We, through the athletic department, sometimes there's connections, and we have them too with the Indians and Browns, because they're interning in the business side of things. There's also a lot of students that will intern in like ticket sales and event planning, which is common, and all sports teams they like to start people that way, so you learn the business and that sort of thing. And there's a really cool website. It's like LinkedIn or Indeed for sports. It's called teamworkonline.org, and it has sports jobs all over the country. So I always point students to that, but we definitely get students doing sports-related internships.
Yeah, talking about ticketing. Ben Milsom is a graduate of JCU, and he is the chief ticketing officer for the world champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Very good.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, we have a few more minutes before we have to wrap up. So how soon do internships begin, and how do students go about getting them? Do they have to find them on their own, or how do we help them, Bob?
We give a lot of help. I mean, we use a system, a lot of colleges do, it's called Handshake. So that's a specific recruiting system for college students. So employers put all their jobs in there. So we teach you how to use Handshake. And it's like Spotify or Amazon, the algorithm, when you start doing something, it says, would you be interested in this? So for instance, let's say you're a marketing major. This Handshake system can weekly, if there's new things come up, we'll send you a note and say, hey, there's a new job in marketing that's come up. So we work with that a lot. We have these 100+ employers we talk to, my team talks to all the time. So I have a job board outside my office. If any of our Boler partners have a particular job, I also put out a weekly newsletter every Monday to all the students, all 1,100 students, and I highlight any kind of new job that's coming up. So we definitely help, but it really does take the individual student to, again, make connections, connect with alumni, look at these websites to find where the opportunities, or go on a website of, let's say, Sherwin-Williams, and say, what are their jobs available? There's a lot of visibility. And that's why, 92% of students getting internships, it's not hard. It just takes a little bit of effort to get what it is you're looking for.
Bob, how often do you interact with students? Like, how often are you helping students? Give us a little bit of a rundown of how much you might interact with a student.
So we have classes so there's 5 BPD classes, 100, 200, 300, 401 and 402. 401 and 402 are only for seniors, and that's making the transition to the workplace. So the other 3, 100, 200, and 300 is where we're doing a lot of the skill development of networking and interviewing. So those classes will meet about 3 times a semester. So I'm in all those classes. I like to have personal interaction with the students. And then one-on-one, I'm not exaggerating, I probably meet, depends on the week, 5 to 7 students a day, one-on-one, either Zoom, or some of them now come, I go into the office, so they come into the office, we all mask up and take care of ourselves. And I encourage that. So I like reviewing a student's resume with them as opposed to just doing it on a computer, because I like to ask students, tell me about yourself. What did you do with that job? I always learn something more, and then can help them present that, and even in a better way. So everybody knows that, I'm open book, and I've got a BPD Bob Zoom room so they can pop in there. And so as often as I can meet students, that's why I'm here.
Yeah, I mean, and I know some of the students as tour guides, and I can speak to the fact that, Bob is very visible on campus, and it's basically, how often do you want to meet with him and interact with him? He'll make it happen. So really good question about athletes. How do athletes balance internships with their sport training practices? I have a little insight to that, but I think, Bob, you probably work with several of our student athletes. We have a lot of them on campus.
Yeah, and I think the key, and this comes off really well when they're interviewing and talking to for internships, it's essential that an athlete, or anybody, not just an athlete, where you're putting 20+ hours of, let's say, practice, or you have a part-time job, you need to develop time management sooner than later. So you use a calendar, you make sure that you're looking at your week on a daily basis, and you're prioritizing things. So it really is, and that's a great life skill that that often has to happen, especially with athletes, because of so much that they have to balance, and being off campus to go to sporting events and stuff. So we help with that. We suggest tools, but about 33% of the students are in athletics, which is incredible for a D3 school. So they all figure it out. And your advisors and other coaches and students that are sophomores and juniors will help you when you're in a sport and saying, hey, how'd you manage this load? So you got to be, what I always say to students, ask questions, be comfortable to ask, to get yourself comfortable and confident in anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think that's the beauty of being in a smaller school, is you have a lot of different support across campus, whether it's from, Boler Bob, or your academic advisor, your coaches, your professors. Everybody's looking out for you because we want you to be successful. So we just want some clarification on the earliest a business major can participate in BPD with an internship spring freshman year.
Well, again, BPD will start freshman year for sure. Internships are going to partly depend on when employers want to bring people in. So sometimes there's employers that, no offense, don't want freshmen yet, and don't take that personal. It's because some employers are bringing in interns and they're training them to make them an offer. So sometimes internships, this is a general, aren't always available, but there are some. Because like I showed you a stat earlier, some students have had 3 internships, which means freshman, sophomore, and junior year. So it really gets down to working in a particular employer, or sometimes what students do as freshmen is, family, friends, or parents of friends might have a company where you can do something as a freshman, either second semester or in the summer, of course. So again, I encourage people that are ready to look for it. But it's not, I can't give you a blanket answer. Sophomore and junior year, there's lots of internships available, and that's when most students are starting to really, get their experience. But you can get them freshman year.
Yeah, I want to just elaborate, just mention that I think the beauty of the program is the amount of flexibility that we build into it and the amount of just real world opportunities we want to provide to our students throughout their 4 years that they're here. So it's kind of a blank slate. It's sort of, what do you want to get out of it? You'll sit down with Bob and his team and map that out, and he'll help you in any way that he can to. So it's kind of a blank canvas, really. Make it, to
Right.
help you fulfill your goal.
What I say, everybody, to freshmen is sometimes you might not want to get an internship yet because you're getting ready for college and you want to make sure you can handle your load. But shadowing somebody at a business is a great opportunity to get some learning and to see how people are and decide if you're interested in a career or not. I mean, oftentimes students will come in and say, I think I want to do this, and they'll change their mind 1 or 2 or 3 times. There's nothing wrong with that. The only way sometimes is to get exposed to it. That's why we introduce you to alumni and encourage you to talk to them. But shadowing can be a great way to get a sense of, what a profession's like and what a company's like. And most people would welcome that, college students wanting to come in to shadow and spend time with them.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, I think we're probably to almost the end of our session, unless anybody else has any other questions. Bob, I don't know if you want to throw in the chat your contact info. People can grab that. I know you are willing to connect with prospective students and families.
Definitely.
Throughout the next few months.
Anytime. Yep.
And I'm grateful for all of you spending your afternoon with us. I'm grateful for Bob and his expertise and what he's doing to help our students. Enjoy the rest of celebration. Continue to reach out to your enrollment managers. These next few months, you have a big decision to make, and we hope that you can see yourself here at John Carroll. We are starting to do accepted student visits starting in March on Mondays and Fridays. So check our website to schedule your visit. And we are also looking to connect you with faculty members, whether it's through a virtual personalized visit, or we may be able to do some in-person personalized visits, masking up and being safe, probably maybe in April. So again, we look forward to going on this journey with you. Thanks for spending some time here. Enjoy the rest of the day. Go Blue Streaks.
Have a good day.
Thanks for coming to the session, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks. All right. Thanks, Bob. That was great.
We had a good group, good sized group, huh?
Yeah, we had about 88.
Great.
Yeah. Yeah. Really well done. Thank you so much.
Yeah, good.
I want to be a BPD student. I might come back and get an MBA. I was an education undergrad and got my master's in nonprofit. So I don't know. I really appreciate your time today. I look forward to seeing you on campus.
Yeah, good. Yeah. And anytime in general, students want to talk to me, just offer that to anybody. That I love talking to students, even if they're on campus. I tell the tour guides,